Hey, what's up everyone? Upstart here with RyXe Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Now, in the previous episode, we managed to unlock tier 7 and 8, which of course 8 doesn't even have anything. 7 only has a few things, mainly the aluminum process, or the aluminum, parts or whatever, or aluminum tech, nuclear, and I think that's about it. I think three of them are like, one is the main aluminum part, or tech skill or node, whatever, and then the other two are kind of derivatives. And I think the last one's nuclear. I think two are nuclear and two are what's it called, aluminum. I kind of forget, but I think it's just those four. I think it is two, the main aluminum stuff. The other one's the nuclear power plant and its stuff, and one I think is the what's it called? The the nuclear, the hazmat suit with the filter, and the other one I think is this this milestone here, which is the advanced aluminum stuff, which is the minor Mark III, the battery, I think the turbo motor, and the other one I think it's the heat sink or something like that. I don't know. It's been a while since I've taken a look at the milestones, because at the end of the previous episode, well, I said I was gonna have to, make my own calculations and figure out what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna set this whole aluminum, at least to start getting aluminum produced, get that whole process set up. Well, I did. It took me a while, so it didn't take that long to make the calculations of everything I needed to do. It's actually having to actually build everything and put everything into place. That is what took me a very long time. That's why I actually didn't upload an episode 2 days ago, which I probably should have, but I didn't really have. I did have things, ready that I could show, but I wanted to have everything done at the very least, So here, according to my calculations, which I'm gonna have to pull it up just so I can read it. According to my calculations, I had to, figure out what the first step was, which pretty much get the alumina solution done, right? So from there, I would have to go to the aluminum scrap, and then the next process would be to make the ingot, and then from there to make the Alclad aluminum sheet. According to what I know, you don't really need the aluminum ingot just as is. You need it at the very least in the sheet form, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me on that one. It's just what I think. So for the alumina solution, which we're on the refineries for that, it requires 70 or 7 bauxite. So we're gonna go with the per minute quantities here. We need 70 bauxite and 100 water to produce 80 of aluminum solution and 20 silica, right? So that's that first part. So the next part would be, to get the aluminum scrap made after that. So the first thing you really need to do is figure out how much, how much bauxite you can actually get, because I think this would be the most limiting factor, because water is not really that, limiting, because it's all over the place, especially if you're like in this edge of, this area like where I'm at. I decided to make the aluminum factory pretty much like next to, kind of, sort of, where my oil refinery area is, which is over the water, because because my bauxite is actually up there, where these conveyor lines right here that you see are coming, or the bauxite are coming from the bauxite miners up there. So in my previous playthrough with update number 2, this was my main area, and I would get the oil from here, and there was a bauxite node that I had discovered up there, and then there was a second one over here. This third one I was actually not aware of, but regrettably it's not pure, it's normal, so kind of sucks, but I'm gonna have to make it work with that. So these are pure right here. So I made my calculations so where I would need I would need the Mark 3 miner. Right now they're with Mark 2s, so that's why you can actually you can see that this actually doesn't fill up as fast as it should because it's working. It's it's distributing kind of sort of evenly, but if it were only like producing with the Mark 3 with at 200%. That was my idea, but I can't get the. I could have manually made the Alclad aluminum sheets, but I decided to not do that. I decided to, you know what, just make all the factories, set it all up, and it'll produce something in the end. And at the very least, I can get that amount that I need for that, and then switch them out later, which is what I plan on doing. So my idea was that where is it? That I would have 3 Mark 3 miners, but I was counting on all the 3 bauxite deposits to be pure. So that third one kind of messed me up, but it doesn't matter because I actually messed up myself. I think because I thought that the Mark 3 miner produced 360 of resource. According to what I see, what I've looked into, it actually produces 480. Because I haven't really put one down, or I haven't looked it up online. I think what I did was I checked the milestone, but I only checked that. I didn't check anything else. Because the Mark 1 says 60 for normal, right? So it doubles on pure. So that taking that into account, I'm like, okay, so then this one says 240. The Mark 3 says 240 in the milestone, or it's in description on normal. So doubling, I guess, following the same thing. The Mark 2 says it does 120, so I'm guessing it does 240 on a pure node. So taking that into account, so I'm guessing the 240 is actually doubled on the pure node. So I'm actually producing 480. I had actually thought it was only 360. So I have it that each of my miners technically produces 720 per minute because it would be each miner Mark 3 at 200%. So now I actually have more than what I need. It doesn't matter. I really didn't want to make this any bigger anyways. I'm like, you know what, I'm going with that. And having to make any changes really is going to be a pain to do because as you can see here, well, you can't exactly see how much of each thing I have, but I'll just say that I have 24 refineries here making alumina solution, and then transferring kind of sort of directly towards the other refineries over there, which make the aluminum scrap, another 24. So it's like a 1-to-1 kind of thing that I'm doing. And then the next step over, I believe, are the smelters, because I'm using 2 alternate recipes, which I'll get to in a bit. One I believe is for the aluminum scrap, and the other one's for the aluminum ingot. The aluminum ingot alternate recipe removes the need of silica, though it does decrease your output, and it increases the time it requires to make the aluminum ingot. Well, it does, like I said, it eliminates just the need of silica. So what I have, the first step of the process for the alumina solution with the bauxite and the water, it makes as a byproduct silica, right? It throws out silica as a byproduct. So what I decided to do is I have a container down over there. I don't know if you can see it. Right next to that, I actually have an awesome sink where I have half of it going to the awesome sink and half of it into the container tower. I only have a five container tower, so that'll fill up, and then once that fills up, then everything will just go into the awesome sink. I'm like, you know what? I don't really care for silica. I could just have one tower of 5 containers, and that's enough for me. I really don't think I would need it. Maybe if I need it, there it is. I have it. That's why I kept some of it. So I have it just going to the awesome sink, just getting rid of that out of the taking it out of the equation where it doesn't get in the way. So the idea was that that only 720 would be produced of bauxite. So now it's gonna be more. So it's gonna sort of kind of overproduce. My miners are gonna sort of kind of overproduce bauxite, but it's fine. I've already filled up like I don't know how many containers, like 5. I think I'm on my way to filling up 8 containers of industrial containers with 48 slots of Alclad aluminum sheets just in a little while that I've had it running properly. Well, somewhat properly. Um, as I was doing this, I started, having this functioning and producing. So that's why I have these industrial fluid buffers here, as what it says, a buffer. So they were like a storage, and those refiners over there would get full, but they wouldn't make anything because they were missing other things, the coal, a bunch of stuff. The coal is the aluminum scrap alternate recipe alternative of petroleum coke. So the petroleum coke and the coal do have a different model or a different icon. It did look different, but I wasn't sure. But it was kind of sort of the same, but it does look different. So it does change that to where you let's see, where is an alternate recipe. I have this all on the text document on just a notepad. The alternate recipe takes 90 alumina solution per minute, 30 coal per minute, and produces 150 aluminum scrap per minute, and 30 water as byproduct. Which for that's why I have over there, I don't know if you guys can see them, but I have a ton of, actually, those are all, they're kind of pretty small, but those are all industrial fluid buffers over there, my fluid storage. I didn't really count how many I have, but I have, I think, at the very least 20 per line, because I have to divide these three-way. There's 24 refineries here, 24 there, so I have them sort of divided three-way. Where here they combine three-way into that, and then they split three-way into that over there. The only reason they're like that is for the buffer, to have that fluid buffer there. So what happens then is that it's another 24 refineries here, as I mentioned. Let's see if I can make it back onto this right here. There we go, we're back on it. And then from there, I have it to where each one of these, whatever it produces, it just goes directly into one smelter. The reason for that is because each smelter, or the alternate recipe for making the ingots, it takes 36 aluminum ingots per no, not aluminum ingots. It takes 144 aluminum scrap per minute, and each one produces 150. So I'm kind of overproducing scrap, and and underproducing the aluminum ingot. But I really don't have a choice unless I overclock the smelters, and it's also 24 smelters down the line, so I would need to have at least 24 power shards to just bump it up a little bit. And I don't feel the need to do that really. And that's all good. I'm just gonna leave it like that. But then from there, the next thing would be to make, the Alclad aluminum sheet, which requires copper, but copper is not really something of interest. Copper, it's just everywhere. You can just, just smelters, divide it, split up 4-way, whatever, or 8-way, and, with just one pure node, or, something like that, getting 240 per node. So it doesn't matter really. It's not a complicated process to get copper ingots for the Alclad aluminum sheets. Problem is the aluminum ingot. So making the aluminum ingots here in these smelters, each smelter with the 144 scrap per minute makes 36 ingots. It's not a lot, not really a lot, but it works. So in the assemblers over there, the Alclad aluminum sheets require 60 aluminum ingots per minute and 22.5 copper per minute. That doesn't really matter. Doesn't even matter. So since I'm only making 36 ingots, that means I have to split this, where one of these, or 3 of these, more or less, feed feed into like one of those over there. So it's kind of weird how I did it. I think what I did was, let's just go down just so you can get a better look at this. I think I have 3 smelters or 5, no, 5 smelters. There you go, I remembered. 5 smelters connected on one line. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, merging onto here. So that's 4, and then there's a 5th one right here. And then that one goes down this way. And then the other, the next 4, so on and so forth. I only have 24 smelters, so yeah, we're 1 smelter off. So at the last assembly line or production line of assemblers down there, the last set still has 3 assemblers, but they have been underclocked. I think they're underclocked at like 80% or 84%. So the split that I have here is I have 3 of these, or 5 of these. I mean, I keep forgetting. I have 5 of these. So I don't really know what 36 times 5 is. But the point is that I'm having that, coming in here. This takes its time because I think it's because how the bauxite, I have it being underproduced. The aluminum ingot takes its time to be made, but it doesn't matter because I actually have, I have 3 containers up on top on my platform, and I have these. How many more? Yeah, we almost got the 5th one, the 8th one in total full. And then whatever it's going to be in each of these assemblers, and that's only been in a little while that I've let that run, because there was a lot of alumina solution that had been accumulated in those industrial containers over there, industrial fluid buffers. So that's how I was able to do that, even though I wasn't producing enough bauxite. So once the bauxite is being produced properly, well, then it could be produced non-stop, no big, and then it just, everything sort of kind of falls into place. And so but anyways, it doesn't even matter anymore that much, because now it's, it just filled up just now, and everything's already going to start filling up, unless I'm using, the Alclad aluminum sheets constantly. That's when that's when I really need to have to do that. So what I had to do for the water, I kind of sort of skipped on that one. I sort of kind of should have done, a little bird's eye view kind of thing of the water that I'm putting into the solution over here. So all this is water going into these machines over here. So I have the water pipes. I pretty much have one water extractor to each refinery. I did bring down I did underclock each water extractor to 84%, bringing it down to only produce 100.8 of water, because these only need 100. But the water is pretty much, it's holding up. It's it's solid. That's what I'm trying to say. So what I did was I have 8 pipes running with 3 extractors each. So I have in the end each line divided 3-way. So I can 8 times 3 is 24. So that's what pretty much does that. And I kind of fell, idiot. Okay, I fell through that. Alright, so that's pretty much what I did. All I did was set up like a 3-way or 3 water extractors just connected into one pipe, because it's 3, because the fluid rate, or the flow rate per minute is 300 maximum. So that's what you have to go with. I had to go with that. At most, I could put 3 on one of them and do that. So it's 24 water extractors set up as best as I can. They're all over the place, yes, but you can't really be too picky with water, with where it is, unless you're like completely and totally over the water and find a better way to organize it. But I don't really want to. You know what? It works. That's it. So the next thing would be how I got the coal down, and the coal that is actually coming from over there, and it's coming from that one. I think it's that platform over there. Oh yeah, that's my main platform ramp. But on the side, if we go up there, that's actually the coal. It's over here that I used to use for my coal generators before, and my steel factories over here in update number 2 that are up on the mountain over there, whatever. And I'm pretty much using those. All 3 are pure. It's all good, no big deal. I don't really need that much coal. Like I think I mentioned it. It's only 30 per minute per each. So I have the 3 miners, and I think I have each divided 8-way, and 8x3. And those are not overclocked. They're just miner mark 2s, and they're at just at their 100% rate. So right now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna head up there on the ramp, and I'll show you all where I split off to go to that. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot something that I think was the last thing. It probably is not the last thing. But I have each bauxite miner divided twice and then split 4 ways. So technically, each bauxite miner divides 8-way. I mean, so the same thing. It's 3 miners, each 8-way into 4 refineries. It's pretty much how I got that that number or whatever, because I thought it was 360. So I probably could have made it bigger, and if I really want to, I could make it bigger, but that's just gonna be a huge hassle, just having to add more things, because at the end of this, I actually there's that huge like farm or whatever, warehouse area of holding the water. You know what, let's just go there real quick. Alright, right here. So I know how many there are here. There's 6 per line. There's 6 here, here, and here. But these are all connected separately, because the output water from the aluminum scrap, this right here, this output water, I have it. I had to be at a maximum of 300 again with the flow rate. So I think there are 8 of them. 8 refineries, connected to 1 pipe each. So that's the 24 again. So I had them like this, divided, and at the end over there, I added, like, I kind of sort of combined them or unified them, so that in the end, what I could do is just just get to like any point in the network or anything, and just go into it, just go into that, and then just, because it's water that I don't need and that I really can't use, I don't really want to like put it back into the system. If something gets backed up, and just having any amount of water extractor will just end up filling up like the other pipes, the input pipe, and whatever's in the output won't be able to circulate properly. So there's I see no point in actually doing that. So what I have here is, you can flush these either per segment or the full network. So however this is whichever way this is connected, even if it's all the way down there, it's still part of the network because all 3 are connected. This should properly, if I do a flush on the network here, it should flush all 3, everything. So that should do that. You see, it flushed it, and all these are shrinking, because the more it shrinks, the smaller it is. It's the least amount of water it contains or it's holding. So I pretty much just flushed all that, and it's just going to continue getting filled with that output water there, that residue water, byproduct water, whatever. And every single container here is going to be flushed. So it's just, I made it like this with so many containers because it's just, it's just water I'm not going to use. I don't need it. I can't really just throw it as runoff into the ocean, because that doesn't exist in this game. So you have to manage it somehow, and I do it this way. I decided to do it like that, and then, you know what? Fill up as many as you can, and like it should be able to hold a lot. It produces like 720 water per minute. Each one, I think. No, in total. 30 times 24, 720 or something like that. And kind of need the space, and I had the space here. What I mean is, I kind of sort of need the storage space for that water, so I did, and I had the space for it, so I went with that. Anyways, oh yeah, one more thing, fun fact: I'm at the edge of the map here. Any further, if I go like too much further down that way, if I drop down, I drop into the abyss. I like drop under a texture that there's no water that's gonna float me up here, like hold me up here. And let's see, let me see a little bit down there. I could get off the map. Maybe not here, but at the end over there, because I'm sort of kind of like at an angle. Let's just go to the end real quick. Alright, so we're at the corner over here. So just adding one more to this started killing me somewhere at the, yeah, halfway there. So I couldn't really make any, you know, go any further that way, even if I do have some leeway further down, because like I've said, I'm sort of kind of, you know, at an angle, so I will start going this way. If I'm building, I will start going that way, further away from the edge of the map. But right now I'm at the edge of the map that it'll let me go to. This is like the forbidden area zone that I had mentioned sometime before. And that's pretty much that. So this is where I united or combined these at the end. You know, I just did something like this, and I made this. These are marked. These are the foundations 8x4s. These are 8x2s. What I did was I made it so that it connects with the bottom part, and then the extra 2 meters, you know, of foundation sticks up. I did it so it would be on the level of the, what is it called, of these stackable pipeline thingies. What is it? Yeah, pipeline stackable. Yeah, because I had them like that over there on the output. So then if these were down, I would have to connect somewhere on the bottom, and then I'm like, you know what, let's just do that. Let's just do something completely and totally unnecessary and just have it, you know, elevated. So I decided to do that. And I have this right here just sticking out because this is part of the full network, so I can just come here and just flush it. You know, to flush the whole thing. And I wouldn't have to jump onto the platform and go into one of these individual ones, or you know, individual container. I'll just go to this one at the end, because somewhere on top of there I have a hyper tube that takes me, not all the way up, but it takes me to where I have the hyper tube on the side. You know, it just moves me around. I don't have it all the way down here because I didn't want to bring it all the way down here. I didn't feel the need to actually do it, so I didn't. This platform is pretty big, huge, gigantic. Maybe not to some people it won't. It's not as big, but I made it this big because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how big I would have to make it. I'm like, you know what, 24 refineries for one process, then 24 for the other, then 24 smelters. Smelters are small, but you know, still take up space. And then 15 assemblers, which is what I have over there. You know, all that. So let's head back up where the coal, you know, so I can show you guys how the coal is doing. So pretty much the coal is coming down, you know, from here, and it's up there, and it splits off somewhere on the side, somewhere halfway on the ramp, and then it comes back down over here. Anyways, let's go. Another thing, the copper, you know, sort of not really important, but it's just, you know, over here where I originally made my platform, where the plastic and rubber, even packaged fuel and all that good stuff gets sent up, where I had this little thing going around this, these pillars, these rock formations here. Well, I pretty much just expanded on that because the coal, or the copper I mean, is right, you know, right here somewhere. Right here, right here. These are only 2 I'm using, and I have 15. It's pretty much a 1-to-1 copper smelter, you know, a smelter for copper ingot to each assembler. It's a 1-to-1. So I split it 8-way, I believe. Each one of the resource miners over there, whatever. I split them 8-way, and you know, it's just not. There's just one here that's not connected. You know, I would have another one here normally, but I don't need it. It doesn't matter. It only uses 22.5 of it. It's pretty much, this is overkill. It's overproducing. It doesn't matter. It's just copper with smelters. Anyways, let's carry on. All right, so this is where we are. Somewhere around halfway. I can't really calculate where exactly we are. This is the bottom of the ramp, and this is where the coal is at. The top of the ramp, I don't really have it marked, so I wouldn't know. I just know that over here is where my hub is, space elevator, all that stuff. So I'd probably be around here. So it is kind of around halfway. So halfway, I don't have a hyper tube that drops me off here because I don't feel the need to have one. Because I don't. It's the coal is just the coal miners, and the stuff here is just pretty much just a place and forget, or a drop and forget kind of thing. It doesn't really matter. I think they're producing the exact amount if the the aluminum scrap would be, you know, constantly working or being made, but it's not because of the bauxite. But anyways, so around halfway, it took me a while to figure out where I had to split off and then go down and then over there. I'll get a better view up there. Let's go. Alright, so here's where, like, how far that platform or bridge or whatever you want to call it spans out, or, you know, stretches out, and then it makes like an L shape kind of thing. It turns here onto the cliff, mountain, plateau, whatever you want to call it. And I have, these where the 3 coal deposits are. One's right there. One is connected somewhere under that tree over there, and one is right on that side somewhere. The reason I'm standing here is this is where I decided to bring down the electricity directly from one of these poles. I wanted to bring it down somewhere, you know, right there, which it's not showing it. Somewhere right there, but that one was a bit too low. It was just, you know, shy 4 of these foundations. They're like 8, 16, 30, like 36 meters out. So I decided to just place that, you know, stick some meters out, some foundations out, and just put that there, and then I have it somewhere at the end over there, and then I brought it down over there. There's a little tiny stick that you can probably see right there, and that's where I have, you know, my connections. Well, not exactly that. I brought it down somewhere in between all of them, and then I have all the connections. This is something I don't really feel like I'm gonna have to move or change or do anything to anymore. It's all good. And pretty much that's that, going all the way down. It's connecting into, I think it's the refinery, and that's it. So over here, you know, just like everything else, the plastic, the copper, the rubber, I mean, the packaged fuel. Here are the Alclad aluminum sheets here that are being taken up onto another, like, you know, another storage warehouse area similar to where I decided to put the rubber and stuff, but just next to it, you know, it still has to be separated. It's not going to be on the same one. Packaged fuel is on the same sort of line, but it's a little kind of separate. It's kind of weird, but because it was from the same derivatives, or, you know, same type of product, you know, oil type product. The Alclad aluminum sheet was aluminum, so it's kind of sort of separate. So I do have it separate. Let's just go there real quick. Alright, so this one right here is where I have the plastic, rubber. Packaged fuel is kind of off to the side. That's why I said it's kind of weird. So that's pretty much its section, the whole oil area section. This one over here is the aluminum section, which obviously we're not going to have this many containers getting filled up, but I just have them like as placeholders, you know, for any kind of future thing that may not happen, more than likely. And that's why I haven't even expanded out on this side either, because it doesn't need to. I may need to when I, you know, unlock the battery, heatsink, the turbo motors, and all that. I may need to do that, but for now it's just gonna stay as is. So here's where I have Alclad aluminum sheets up on the platform, where I can just, you know, just come over here instead of going all the way down and then have to come back up to bring them up here. You know, I have them here, you know, readily available to me. So this is pretty much all we needed, so we can, you know, tab, to complete this milestone and the other. I think the last 2 milestones that we have available need the Alclad aluminum sheets. I'm not exactly sure how much, but that's something we're gonna have to do. You know, I wanted to get it in this episode, but I also wanted to get in all the explanation, or as best I could, of, you know, my and you can actually see it right in the top corner, my aluminum production line, refineries, you know, all that stuff. I wanted to explain that as best I could, because I'm not very good at explaining things, but I try, you know, I do what I can. But anyways, you know, got that. So regrettably, we're not gonna unlock these milestones in this episode. We're gonna have to wait for the next one. So that's pretty much it for this one in reality. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Hit that like button if you liked the episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.